let me start that. But I do want to give you guys on this Monday Night Skills call, I want to give you guys some tips for what do I do beyond the first 48 hours of my virtual classes. So if you guys haven't seen my Facebook Live tips that I went live on Saturday, I would watch that. That's just in the Alyssa Love It Success line. You guys can watch that and get an idea of what to do after or what to do in the first 48 hours of hosting an online event. But beyond the first 48 hours, honestly, that's where a lot of work continues. So I don't want you guys to think oh, they didn't order. I had somebody order today and she goes, by the way, I can't place that order till the 28th. I'm like, okay, perfect. Let me get all your information down. Are you okay with that? And then I'll make an alarm in my calendar. And so I have her order form already filled out, literally just waiting till the 28th. And I said, and by the way, would you host a class for me? She already said no to the business and she goes, I will. And I'm like, yes. So again, get those people on the phone and you guys will get a lot further. But what I wanted to share with you guys on beyond the 48 hours is this is where the real work really begins. Is you're going to be building relationships, but you're really going to be you're going to be closing out the classes. I like to close out a class in a week. Guys, there's classes that they're kind of back here and I know that there's people I could build relationships with, but the class isn't necessarily open. Does that make any sense? So I'm going back and let me show you guys what I did. Gen Register also is the brainchild of this. So this is the IPA binder. You guys know that. I have my daily method for success on the front. I just like to see this kind of stuff. Here's my faces. I printed out my August yesterday, I think. And I'm kind of creative. I'm a 4 on the Enneagram, a 4 wing at least. So I kind of have to write things out my way. But this is my plan for August. So I wrote my goals and I wrote my plan. And basically like my goals by the 15th, my goals by the 31st are on here. I want you guys tracking your activity. We talked about this on Saturday in case you weren't on that call. You got to track your activity if it's going to work. So I have a goal I have a plan, an activity plan. So write it down. How many classes? I like classes. So how many classes am I going to book this month? I want to do 4 a week online. That's what I want to do. And so I found 4 hostesses last week. Not all of them went through, but I found 4. So I was really excited about that. And remember, not all of them will go through every week. So my goal, I need to put my hostess right here I found today. So I love filling this in because this shows you, am I on track for my goals? Along with my faces. How many faces am I in front of? Okay. So you always track your activity. Again, I personally, how many people do I want to look at the business? I have people, how many faces I want to look at the business every week, written down all the spaces, and I just know to fill the spaces in. And then how many people do I want to sign up this month? What's my goal? At least 5 should be your goal every month. I have an insane goal this month. And I'm almost scared to tell you guys, but it's insane. And then how many samples and videos am I getting out a week? Okay, and so this is for the whole month. This is my plan, and I just fill it in. I kind of break it down week by week. So it's not hard. It's everything that you guys have learned from us. Another thing I will share with you in the IPA binder, obviously I'm not using the trackers they have. You can use if you like recipes, then use the trackers they already have. I'm not very good with recipes, if I'm honest. And so I have tabs 1 through 12, and every month I'm putting my invite checklist. So for the month of August, tab number 8, by the way, these are my classes for August. I have them in here. I could go all the way back to January, the tab number 1, and I could show you all my hostesses for January. So I kind of like that because it gives me a way to go back, and when I'm searching for new people to talk to or recircle back with about the business or follow up or whatever, I can go back to those lists and I have it all in my binder. Okay, so I just kind of organized that yesterday. I don't want you to think that that's a brand new idea. Actually, it is a brand new idea of mine. It's not a, hey, I've done this forever. I just did it. Just did it actually. Well, yeah, it was yesterday. I got some stuff organized because sometimes I tend to be a little scattered. So that is a tip that I have for you as well, is organize those invite checklists. Maybe you want to put them in a binder or something as well. So what I'm doing is I'm looking at who's hosted for me already this month. And since it's past for Saturday, for example, since it's past the first 48 hours, don't discount that class. That's the worst thing you could do. Most of your sales are probably going to come in right now this week. And so that's where you want to be really, again, pull off the computer your follow-up. So if they've engaged with you enough to answer the 4 questions, then I want you to, unless they've just said, I'm not interested, no thank you. Don't forget to filter people to the business, because sometimes if they're not interested in the product, it's because they have budget issues. So always ask more questions and see if you can help them. So don't forget to filter. But my point is if somebody has said to you, if they've answered the 4 questions and they've engaged with you enough, at that point, then I want to make sure that you guys are taking those conversations off of Facebook and say, hey, let's just say she's like, hey, I'm interested in nutrition. That's what she said for question number 2 or whatever. You send her you tag her in the 30-day link on the page, let's say, and you send her the breakfast package and the 30-day package and say, hey, I would love for you to look this over. I would actually love to answer your questions in person. Would you be open to just hopping on the phone really quickly? My time today is here and my time tomorrow is here. What works best for you? And so if they've been engaging, that's what I do, and I pull that off. So my central district just had a Discover Arbonne. And for those of you saw, we had a couple guests on there. And so one of them was from a Facebook class. Her name was Erin. And that's what I do. She engaged and I pulled her off Facebook to talk to her about the videos I'd sent, etc. And then once you're talking to someone, it's easy to close if you're in a conversation. So do you guys have any questions that I could answer for you about closing the virtual classes? You good?
I would say, oh, go ahead, Hannah.
Sorry. I know I jumped in very, very late. My apologies. But one thing I would say about that is sometimes you cannot close in a reasonable time. Somebody, just can't. Love on them. Say, hey, can I still reach out to you in the time frame that they've given? Whatever their circumstances are that they've told you about. If they're still talking, say, great, I understand that, praying for you, whatever. Can I talk to you in a couple of weeks or in a month or whatever it is? And when they say yes, be sure to follow up with them, because to me, and I may be wrong, but to me, that's still an open door for more knowledge and for further filtering. It just may be that they're kind of off to the side in their filtering versus business to product at that point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, such a good point. I don't think we can express that enough, to continue to talk to people. So Hannah, I told them one thing I did yesterday was these invite checklists for classes or whatever. I just have a 1 through 12 tab in every month of the year. So number 8, these are my classes so far booked for August of this year. I could go all the way back to March and show you guys like my classes for March, but it helps me to see those names again, because a lot of those people, most people won't order. You only are really going to have three or 4 people that order in a class, every time, but you may have a bunch of names written down like Hannah's saying. So that's where you go back and you build relationships, you love on people, and there's going to be people from my classes all year that I'm going to be able to continue to go back to and love on and talk to. Or if you guys also keeping track of your one-to-ones and things like that, maybe on your, like I told you guys, I encouraged you to, you know, make this activity tracker of some sort. Like you guys all have a plan. So what's your plan? Track it. Like how many faces are you, or excuse me, how many classes are you doing? How many one-on-ones? How many samples? Label or number 1 through whatever. And then you guys could keep these in here too, and even go back and say, oh yeah, she never bought anything. Like you are talking to so many people, if you're not tracking it, you know, you're likely to forget. So, okay. Any other questions before I hand it over to Jen?
Well, I was just going to say about the virtual classes that I have trouble sometimes closing the gap, and it's because you have to use that tracker so you know who you talked to who said they were going to come, who didn't come, who and what I generally do, and this is just a tip, you know, after the virtual class, is I see out of my invites who actually said that they were going to attend. And that's where I start. I start with those people first. Then I move on to the people that saw the invite, you know, because it is through Facebook. And then I go to them next. And even though I know that they've seen it, my general reach out is, hey, I don't know if you noticed, but I invited you to a nutrition class the other evening, and I just wanted to follow up with you. I really wanted you to attend this because I thought this would give you a lot of help, because I know you're starting a healthy journey, or, you know, whatever you want to say. You can say whatever you want. And then I kind of filter down again after those people have responded, or if they've blown me off, then I let it rest for a day or two and then go back to them again. So I didn't know if there was anyone else that has tips for helping close that up, because Sarah and I were talking, Sarah Hogan-Norton and I were talking, and we're like, you know, you put so much effort into inviting the person, conversing with the person, and, you know, you can't let the conversation die because you've put work into this conversation. So, you know, even if you let it rest for a month, or that's not great, but let it rest for a bit, even if they said they're not interested, you know, put them on your calendar to follow back up with maybe in 2 months, kind of like Hannah's saying, because you have put time and energy into them. And I guess I'm kind of saying this because that's something that I actually struggle with, is I'm like, oh my gosh, I swore I just talked to Olivia. No, it was 8 months ago.
Yeah.
So
yeah, seriously, if you don't track everything, you know, you're definitely, that's where I do the exact same thing. And just having a notebook that has like who I talked to in whatever month, I mean, that's helpful, you know, just to write down who did I ask to take a look at the business in the last month. If you don't know, then start tracking it. So yeah, I love it. Jen,
I'm sorry I wasn't on Saturday. We were exploring with some children at the lake and fishing and boating with my husband's family. So,
oh yes, you'll have to let me know how that family event went later, but we missed you. Yes. We missed you, but Jen is going to share with us tonight. She's so good at helping people in a creative way. Like, she loves to do her own thing. She loves to run specials. She loves to take Arbonne specials and just make, you know, something a little bit more fun and creative, but she wants to know how everyone can take advantage of, like, for example, the Build for More. And I know last time we did the Build for More, Jen had a really good month. She really did some creative things with that. So I just wanted Jen to kind of share some ideas with you guys, and you guys feel free to ask her questions as well. But Jen, I'm going to turn it over to you.
All right. So my first recommendation on this Build for More is tell the person what it's in it for them, because everybody wants to know what's in it for me. They don't care that you love the product. I mean, really, they don't care about your testimony so much. They want to know what is in it for me. So, you know, starting out with that is the best way to go about it. I would suggest that you reach out to your existing preferred clients first. And the reason that I say that is because they are your preferred client. They love the product. They've been purchasing the product. And, you know, what I would say may not be the same thing you would say, but I would reach out to them and be like, hey, I know you love the Arbonne product. I know you just purchased the RE9 set, but guess what? It's, you know, it's 40% off of everything. I know that you're probably pretty good on these things, but can I help customize a package for you? You know, maybe you want to start on some nutrition. You can get 2 bags of protein, 2 fizz, a body gelée, a face wash. You know, you got to plant the seed and kind of tell them what they are going to want. And it helps if you know the person and you kind of know what they're into or what they like. So I would reach out to your preferred clients first. Now, for Shadona and Krista, who's newer, and even Lisa, you may not have very many preferred clients. So you're thinking, okay, sounds great, Jen, but guess what? I have one preferred client and it's my husband or it's my mom. What then? I would go with close friends and I would just say, hey, you know, I just started a business with Arbonne, and this also goes for myself too. Hey, there's this really great promotion going on. Would you like to join in and get some killer products at 40% off? I suggest that you give numbers because I don't know, that's what I listen to. So if I did a little calculating, imagine that. So if a person is to purchase 396 QV of product, that costs them, a preferred client, that costs them $316.80 before taxes. But if they add a chapstick on, then their cost for all those exact same products and the chapstick is $248 plus free shipping. So, you know, when you tell them, hey, you are saving like $70, talk to them about Christmas. You know, I know it's not Christmas yet, but like, hey, you should stock up for your teacher's gifts. You know, plant the seed and say, I'm not being pushy. I'm just saying this is a great promo. Arbonne hardly ever does this. They've done it like once or twice before, and I'm just here to help you and serve you. So, you know, that's kind of what I would start with. So that's what's in it for them. Another thing I would ask your preferred clients or your close friends, this is a perfect time for them to host a class and explain to them like, hey, so, you know, maybe their response back to you is, sounds great, Jen, but I don't have $250 extra right now. You know, my husband's laid off or whatever the situation is. Okay, awesome. So let's do this. You can have up to 75% off of products by hosting a class. And I think that people are still stuck in that, I don't want to host a class. That's a pain in the butt. I don't know what to do. And I just like to make it short and simple and sweet and be like, this is all you have to do. Connect me with 3 to 5 of your closest friends and we have a class. That's all you got to do. And, you know, give them choices. Say, this is what host a class is. You can refer me to 3 to 5 people and make the connection, and we'll talk on Zoom, or I can do an online class where you invite people to and then help me with the follow-up with those people. Or we can do an in-person class. You know, if you're open to that, I, of course, you know, love to go to in-person events. Have a couple of friends over, have a glass of wine. We'll do facials, you know, get rid of COVID. I don't know. We shouldn't say that word. But, you know, just give them different ideas. Another one, which this isn't my huge, you know, I don't really like this way, but it does work. And the reason that I don't like this method is that I don't feel like I am serving people very well, that I'm just trying to sell stuff. And that is having a catalog class or an online book class. You know, and we have the virtual on the source where you can actually share the link for the whole entire catalog. So people can kind of browse through it. And, you know, that is something nice to do beforehand and then schedule maybe a follow-up appointment with Jane and Sally and Beth and Mary. So, it isn't like passing out a Scentsy book or anything like that, but I just think it doesn't have as much connection, but it is an idea. You just kind of have to figure out what your friend says and how they want to go about it. But just explain to them that, hey, it's 40% off for all your friends. If 3 to 5 of you want to, jump on and you want the RE9 skincare set, if one friend wants the skincare set or the nutrition set, the other friend purchases one item and basically you're at 400 QV and everybody saves 40%. Now, say you have, we'll use names because that's easier. So Jane has agreed to host for you. And so she has her friends, Sally, Mary, Beth, and Jim. And all 4 of them are like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. I want to purchase this. I want to purchase that. I explained this a tiny bit the other night in our team meeting, and I might have confused some people. But what you can do in order to get them all 40% off is you take Jane's preferred client account, because she's your hostess and she's your preferred client, or upgrade one person to a preferred client. Maybe Sally wants to be a preferred client. So you've got Sally, she's your new preferred client. You put Sally's, Jim's, and Mary's order under there, and it reaches the 400 QV. Well, then Beth says, oh, well, I want the skincare set or the nutrition set. So I would actually have Beth be another order on that class, I should say. So you've got Sally as like the person as one order, and then you have Beth as a second order. And the reason that I say this is because you need to have 3 orders on a class in Arbonne on the website for the host rewards to unlock. So maybe you're going to place a personal order on your own, or maybe I have quite a few preferred clients that actually reorder through me. So I can take their orders and I can attach them to different classes, and I build my host rewards that way. So in the beginning, like for most of us except Sarah Keener, that works. But for Sarah Keener, it probably doesn't work as well. I mean, can you imagine if she was reordering for every single preferred client? How would that work, Sarah? It'd be really great, right? So I kind of told you, reaching out to your preferred clients or your close friends, asking them to host, asking them to, capitalize on this 40% off, and then getting up to 75% off product for just referring some friends or hosting a class, basically the same thing. The second thing that I would recommend is build packages. So what I do is, I have the old catalog, and I literally go through the catalog often, especially when there's a big promo like this taking place. The first thing that I do is I write down like 10 of my absolute most favorite products. And I kind of call it Jen's top 10. And then I write down the QV of each one of those products on my piece of paper. And then I start doing the math and I start building packages. Number one, when you build a package, you want to be sure that it is at least 150 QV, because that's a new preferred client. So that makes sense. In this case, you might want to build your packages like a 200 QV package and a 200 QV package, or even do like a 390 QV package and say, oh, well, this is the price, but guess what? Add a chapstick and look at how much you save. You save $70. So, those are just ideas. So that is what I would do. And I kind of like to do themes and make corny or catchy, however you want to look at it, titles. You can call them corny or catchy, which I actually have not done this yet for this build, but I do plan on doing that on Wednesday when I have the day off from work. So I will come up with some and I will share them with you all so you can, use it too, because we're all sisters and brothers or whatever, and we need to all work it out together. So, and at Christmas, I had like 11 or 12 packages, and I just posted like a picture of each thing in my wellness group, and I'm like, package number 8, blah, 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 package number 9. And I really didn't think a single soul saw it or even cared. And I sold like 3 packages, and I was super excited. So again, that social media, nobody comments, nobody likes, but they do see it. So
Well, and Jen, you could literally take it further, and maybe you went live and you just talked about your morning routine, and you talked about, like this morning, how I talked about my shake and what was in it and my shot or whatever. But if you had a morning routine package, or you know what I mean, like you guys can get so
yes.
creative. You can go live at any point. Now, these are additional tools. They don't take really precedence over you actually physically reaching out, but it's a good way to build community, like Jen's saying, within your VIP or your, you know, Facebook pages. So
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that tip. So yes, I'm going to have one that's like Jen's must-haves, or I really like Sarah's morning routine. The third or maybe the 10th idea, I tried to stay on task. Hannah and I have a lot in common. But the third idea was like have a raffle for a fizz. And the reason I recommend a fizz is because I absolutely love them. And number 2, it is a nutrition product that 90% of people will love. Now, if you do a nutrition products, guess what? They run out in 30 days. You know, skincare runs out in 4 to 6 months. So, you know, a nutrition product, I think, just my personal opinion, it's a great gift. Now, I would probably stay away from a greens balance or a digestion plus as a giveaway, because your audience that's going to appeal to is going to be much smaller. They're going to be like, oh, thanks for the prebiotic. It tastes terrible on its own. Now what? You know, they're not you know, that's a product, in my opinion, that you introduce a little bit later after you've kind of started them on some fizz, and they've got the cleanser and they've got a moisturizer. So now we're going to expand our horizons. So, and branch out. So having a raffle or a giveaway or a drawing, whatever you want to call it, the ideas to do this, like, okay, great, I'm going to have a raffle. Well, what do they have to do to have the raffle, you know, to win? Here's some ideas. Attend an event. And I even had the idea, haven't acted on it yet. If only I acted on 10% of my ideas. Now, I even had the idea that, you know, having a weekly raffle for $125 a product, because I have a lot of Hostess rewards. Anyone who attends an event this week is going to be entered into this drawing for fizz. And then another idea is anyone who joins my VIP group is going to be entered into this drawing for fizz. Yes, Hannah.
Sarah, not that you can't address this, Jen, but I think this will be a Sarah question.
Okay, no.
With the Hostess rewards, say I have a class that I have been feeding, not a class, I have an event that I've been feeding my own sales into, and I've maxed it out on the Hostess rewards. Can you divide that up? Okay, that's what I thought. I thought it had to be a 1. If it's at 625, you had to do the 625. Okay, that's what I thought, but I just want to double check.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I did that same thing, Hannah, and then I started building multiple events on my Arbonne page and naming them multiple things, so I could keep the host rewards down and only have like $250 of product on each class, because once they get to, you know, not that you can't just cash in on the $250 of host rewards, but
right,
we're probably talking way above Shadona and Lisa and Krista.
But that helps with our funding on our personal.
Yes.
But continue. Sorry, I just wanted to double.
Yep. No, it's all good. It's all good. So the ideas for the raffle: attend an event that week, join your VIP group, refer a friend, host a class. I mean, you can do whatever. You can even, I'm not as big or as much of a fan of doing like, hey, you get to join this group, or you get to join you get into this drawing if you purchase. I don't really like to do that except for on close day. That's when I pull out those drawings on close day. Like, hey, with every purchase, you get 5 entries into this drawing. I talked about the book a class. I have an idea on nutrition. So a nutrition set is, what is it, 303 QV? Is that right? Around 300, right?
Yeah, it's 317.
317. Thank you. For some reason, I could not find that. So your QV is 317 on a nutrition set. So say they added in an extra fizz and a body gelée, which that is one of the #1 awesomest products that Arbonne does have in the body care line. I have lots of testimonies on it. Then they're over the 400. So then they're going to say 40% on the gelée and on the, whatever the other thing was, the fizz. It's been Monday. I'm cracking my own self up. I'm sorry. Okay, composing. Okay, anyway.
She's gone.
So my idea was, so my friend Carrie, she's going to do the nutrition. She's like, Jen, I want to do this nutrition. Awesome, Carrie. This is my idea. Carrie, if you can find or put me in contact with your friend Judy, I am going to give you a $25 gift card for groceries for this nutrition program. You find me, or you put me in contact with Scott and Kendra and Court and Cade. Guess what? It goes up $25 for every single person that you refer to me. Now this, or you can use Arbonne product too. I mean, the reason that I was thinking the gift card is because I remembered how I felt the very first time I started the nutrition program. And I was like, oh, I can eat pizza rolls way cheaper than this. I'm just being real. So like, and when you went and you bought organic food and you were buying different things that you didn't normally had never bought in 29 plus years of your life, and you were like, holy my goodness. So that's my thoughts, is just kind of a way to incentivize and reward them for referring. And plus they get accountability partners. And we all know that if you have an accountability partner, you do so much better and it's so much easier, and it's an easier transition to a healthier lifestyle. So to do the numbers, say Carrie finds 4 people to join her on the nutrition program. That's 317 QV per person, which is like 1,800 QV on your dollar. No, 1,500, about 1,500 QV on your line, right? Off of each nutrition set, you make around $40 off of every kit that is sold. So if you're making 40 from Carrie, 40 from Scott, 40 from Judy, 40 from Sally, so you're making $200 off of 5 sets for commission. And then if you are doing $25 per each person she finds. Oh, thank you, Sarah Keener. Okay, you're even making more money. Even better. But so if she finds 4 people to join her on the nutrition program, then that's you giving her $100 gift card for, a Visa, prepaid Visa gift card for groceries or whatever she sees fit. Or maybe you do a $50 gift card. You get the idea. You can do whatever you want to do. But that's only costing you $100 if you go with the gift card option. And then making $50 a pop, you're making $250. So you're still making $150 commission. Have I confused everybody? Is everybody still following?
Yeah, so basically whatever you're investing in that referral gift or whatever, you're making $48 per kit sold. So you guys will make that next Tuesday. If you invest a little money up front, you could make it back or even still be making money. So however you
yeah, and And from the time that, you get your paycheck, you can wait till Tuesday to send the gift card to Carrie, if it was the previous week. I don't think she's going to be like, where's my money? But just those are some ideas that I have and that have worked before. And I'm sure that I'll come up with more ideas probably in 5 minutes, but that's pretty much enough for probably tonight.
That's awesome. And one thing I wanted to even touch on further, Jen, that I love that you said was about, hosting doesn't have to look like, for someone, it doesn't have to look like inviting 30 to 50. It could just be, who are 3 to 5 people you could just connect me with and let me introduce me with too. So, you can pitch it a couple different ways, like someone that really wants to do the 30 days. If they find anyone who finds 3 friends to do the 30 days with them, their kit's $90. That's just the math on the host rewards. So tuck that little thing in your back pocket. Find 3 people to do this program with you. Your kit is 75% off. It's $90. So what about you connecting me with some people in the next couple of days, just introducing me over Facebook message individually, or, Instagram or text. And I've had people do that before in the last 2 days of the month and say, hey, I think my friend is interested in more information. She might want to do this with me, because she was she was a motivated hostess. She didn't host in the traditional way, but she introduced me to 3 people who wanted to do the program. And so all of a sudden I've sold 3 kits, but I have 4 clean eaters, because I have, my friend is getting hers at 75% off. And then she has 3 friends, and those 3 friends, we just entered them in host rewards, and that's how she got her kit. So that's how people get their 30-day kit for $90, just so as they find 3 friends to do the program with them. That's hosting. It just doesn't look the same as inviting to a Facebook Live class and you have an official party and all that. So some of you guys might want to use that a little bit more too, more of a referral type deal. So great ideas, Jen. I loved it. I actually wrote all of them down, and you gave me some ideas as well. That I just was thinking, yes, I need to do that. Yes, I need to do that. Yes, how great would it be to do, having a live every week on your favorite things, or, you guys can lean into this all in. And, that's why I love generating ideas, because sometimes we kind of get stuck and it's like we make the same thing for dinner all the time. We're like, oh, I'm in a dinner rut. Sometimes we need to generate some more ideas like this on Monday nights for let's get creative this month, So you guys could be going live, and if you guys aren't going live on your VIP page, I would really encourage you guys. People need to see you using Arbonne, not just posting the cute Arbonne graphics and the la-la-las. Like, what are you using? What do you love? Go live on your page, engage, and, post relevant things outside of Arbonne, from, information from doctors and things like that. Add value to them. You guys, this could be a great month. Like Jen said, do raffle in your VIP page. I love doing that. That's how Hannah Porter is on our team. Is I did a raffle 2 Aprils ago, and I just said, it was when we were first doing VIP pages, and I was just trying to build it up. And all I did was say, everybody in the next week, here's your time frame, here to here, here's your date. By midnight on blah, 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 every single person that you invite to this group. And I said, hey, we have integrity. Why don't you ask people first and say, hey, I'm going to invite you to this group. I find this, girl to be knowledgeable in health and wellness or whatever. And she's definitely just someone that I like to follow. If I would love for you to be able to benefit from this. So I'll invite you, at least give them a heads up as to what it is. But every single person you invite that I can see, who you have to have your notifications turned on, where pending members, you have to approve them. And so, on your VIP group. And so you will be able to screen every single person that, you know, is trying to get in essentially. And so that's what I did. And so basically every single person I have to approve for sure, because I wasn't the one that invited them, right? So that's just in your settings. And so I'm like, oh, Hannah Porter, oh, that's Don's daughter. Okay, cool. So every single one of those people, I would say, hey, thank you so much for accepting the invitation to my group. I hope you find it valuable. I would actually love to share Arbonne with you, no strings attached and no pressure. But if I sent you a video that shares more info, would you be open just to listening to my story and giving me some feedback? And so, you know, some of them will say yes. Hannah said yes, and then I pulled it offline and asked her the 4 questions, or ask her the 4 questions and then pull it offline if she's chatty, like we've already talked about, and she's receiving that information. So that would just be another idea I would throw out there, is do a VIP raffle this month, you know, for whatever. But hopefully this was helpful. Any questions that you guys have about anything? Good? Awesome. Okay. Thanks, Jen. You did an awesome job. This inspired me tonight to do some different stuff. And just lean in, guys. This is the best month your business will ever see if you'll just lean in with everything you have. And I want you to remember in close that this is the best year your business will ever see, even if it is the first year, because you decided to make it the best year. And that's one of my affirmations I'm saying over myself, is that this is the best year my business has ever seen. And I don't care what it looks like today. I'm the spark. You're the spark to your business catching fire. And I'm going to say that one more time. It's not that you sponsor the spark. You are the spark that catches your own business on fire. So I'm taking that really to heart right now in my personal business. And I am throwing out some matches and trying to be that spark for my personal business. So love you guys. Thanks for joining. Have a great night. Bye, y'all.